Cool. So let's get started, and I'll read out the guided reading questions for this week. And hopefully, my clues will help you to locate where it is in the passage. So, question number 1 is taken from the article that is titled "The UK May Have Passed the Worst of It." Question number 1 says, what do you think the journalist means when he says echoing? So he says Hancock, who is the Health Secretary for the UK, Hancock was echoing comments made by England's Chief Medical Officer, Professor Chris Whitty, who said the country was probably reaching the peak overall. So, what does that mean if you're echoing the comments of someone else? Think of what an echo is. Okay, so an echo is a noise. Maybe you can imagine it in a dark tunnel. Echo, echo, echo. Okay, so it's the same sound but produced at lower intensities and a little bit quieter as it goes on. So if Hancock, the secretary, is echoing comments made by Chris Whitty, what do you think this means? Do you think this means that they agree with the person or that they disagree with the person? Are they on the same page? So an echo, does it produce the same sound or a completely different one? You decide. Okay. Number 2, from the same article, Matt Hancock believed the country to be over the worst of it. Who else shared this viewpoint? So in the article, it will tell you about another politician or a leader in the UK that also agrees with Matt and says that, yeah, I actually do believe the UK has passed the peak. So who is that says that? Okay. Number 3 is taken from the article, crowdfunder launched to get positive news to NHS staff. Okay. Number 3 is this question. Why do you think Positive News started the fundraising mission to share copies of their magazine with NHS frontline workers? So, why do you think it's important for the magazine to make sure that NHS workers have a copy of this magazine available to them? Do you think it will affect their mood? Do you think being surrounded by positive stories will impact their attitude to work, their attitude to their role in this crisis? Why do you think that they started the fundraising mission in the first place? Okay, number 4 is from the same article. There is a word in this short story that suggests these magazines will be free of charge. Can you identify it from paragraph 2? So the word is mentioned twice in that paragraph, and it describes something being free of charge. So it's a synonym for that. Number 5 is taken from the article. The BBC's Big Night In raised 27 million. That is the title of that one. Number 5 asks you, which fundraising efforts have helped generate huge amounts of money for the National Emergency Services and the NHS? I'll give you a wee clue. These fundraising events have raised millions of pounds. So there were 2 events or fundraisers that have raised millions of pounds. What are they? And I'm sure you would have seen them on TV or have seen clips of them on social media. So just think what's been happening, who has raised the most money for the NHS and the National Emergency Services during this crisis. It's both UK based. Okay. Number 6 from the same article asks you, it says that the BBC raised just over 27 million to go towards the National Emergencies Trust, an impressive figure, but just shy of the 28.5 million raised by 99-year-old Captain Tom Moore. What do you think the expression just shy means? All right, so a little clue for this one. Look at the 2 amounts mentioned, 27 million, 28.5 million. Okay, it says that 27 million was just shy of the 28.5 million made by Tom Moore, or Captain Tom Moore. If it's just shy, do you think that means it's larger or it's smaller than the second amount of money? Okay, just shy of. It's got nothing to do with feelings and emotions, so try to get that out of your head. Okay, question number 7 comes from the article titled Almost 15,000 Miles of UK Walking Routes Mapped. So question number 7 asks you, which word in this passage is used to replace a word used for walkers or explorers? A little clue, what I would do if it was like a reading strategy is I would replace the word that I think it is with the word walkers and see if the sentence still makes sense. So, for example, if it was about a book that I've read, okay, and I wanted another word to replace the word book, and I was trying to think what word could replace the word book. Maybe it's novel. It would still make sense in a sentence. So I have recently been reading an interesting book. I have recently been reading an interesting novel. So try and replace the word that you think has the same meaning as walkers in this passage and tell me what it is that you've replaced it with. Okay? Question number 8. The plan to create 15,000 miles of UK walking routes is described as ambitious in the article. What do you think that implies? If someone says a plan of yours is ambitious, does that mean that it's quite simple and straightforward to carry out? Or do you think it means that you're being quite brave and courageous to carry out this effort? I'll put it in another context. You might say to your mum, I am trying to do 10 hours of schoolwork a day. And your mum might reply to you, whoa, okay, that's ambitious. What do you think it means if you say that a plan is ambitious? It links to the word ambition, so try and get some meaning out of that. Okay, number 9. It's titled, Refugees Are Still Helping Bees Despite the Lockdown. So number 9 asks you, the Refugee Bees project seems to be benefiting 2 causes. What are they? All right, so it's benefiting 2 things. They might not be people, it could be animals, things, people, but it's benefiting 2 sources. What are they and why is it benefiting them? Okay, then question number 10 is from the article, Dogs Enlisted to Carry Out Coronavirus Testing. Number 10, dogs have been used to sniff out diseases pre-COVID-19. What other disease is mentioned that dogs can identify in humans from sniffing them? Okay, a disease, not any kind of substances, just a disease. Okay, number 11, coming from the article, Inseparable Couple Released from Hospital Together. What sweet news about the lovely elderly couple who were allowed to stick together and support one another in the hospital? Which one word suggests that the couple have spent more than 60 years together? Okay, there's one word mentioned that suggests it's been more than 60 years. What is it? Think mathematical vocabulary as a clue. Okay, question number 12, with the title, London will be overhauled to boost cycling. London City is thinking about creating a bigger cycling network. Can you think of any other European cities who also promote alternative sustainable modes of transport like cycling? I know of some because I am a keen cyclist, but I just want to know if you have any background knowledge. There are 2 European cities that I can think of off the top of my head that really promote cycling in terms of creating really big cycle lanes and having little to no road traffic by cars and lorries on the road. So this is kind of like a research question. Do you know of any more? I'm looking for 2 biggies. Okay, Number 13, titled Carbon Emissions Set to Plummet. Which three fuels has there been a record decline in demand for during the coronavirus period? What could the future of energy sources look like if things were to continue in this way? So that's kind of 2 for the price of 1 questions there. So the first part of the question asks you to identify the 3 fuels which have seen a record decline in demand for. And the second question says, if this record decline keeps on plummeting, what do you think will happen? What will the world look like? And what will we rely on instead of these fossil fuels? Will there be other types of energy that we might look towards using? And do you think this is a positive change or not? Okay, last question, number 14, coming from the article New Banksy Celebrates NHS Workers. For anyone that doesn't know, Banksy is an artist. You might have seen on the article, there's a picture with a person, a little girl holding a balloon of a love heart. That's a very famous Banksy painting. A lot of his paintings have political messages. They're quite powerful. However, I think this one's more an image to express a gratitude or thanking someone for their services. So, going back to number 14, the question is, why do you think Banksy, the artist, called his piece Game Changer? Okay, what do you think the message behind the piece was? Which toys are now in the bin? And which toy is the centre of attention and it's given priority in the scene? And that might help you to think a bit more about the message. Okay, so hopefully you get on well. I'm looking forward to hearing your answers to the questions, and I'll chat to you soon. If you've not already, check out the other videos on the YouTube channel. Your teachers have been working hard to put together some videos for you to engage with. Okay, stay safe and we'll chat soon. Bye.